So I think the reason the competition law regime in Europe is so important for Asia is because in a number of Asian countries the law is new, and in those countries there is a lack of guidance as to how the law ought to be interpreted, and therefore agencies and advisors and companies look to those jurisdictions where there is guidance, and Europe is one of those areas. Also, a number of the Asian laws have been based on pre-existing laws in Europe. So, for example, the Singapore law is modelled on the UK regime. And finally, it is the case that a number of the agencies in Europe organised for their officials to come out to Asia in order to assist in training the regulators, and therefore undoubtedly personal relationships are established such that it would be natural for the Asian countries to look to Europe for guidance in interpreting the law and in applying the competition law principles. I would counsel clients looking to invest in Asia that when it comes to competition law, you can't assume that there is no regulation. Indeed, when it comes to merger control, China is a significant, heavy-hitting regulator when it comes to having your transactions cleared. In addition, a number of the countries in ASEAN either have merger control, Singapore is an example, or are thinking of introducing merger control, and the law is about to come on the statute books, such as Philippines. So the first point is not to assume that there is no regulation. There is indeed regulation, and in some cases, such as China, it's heavy-hitting regulation. And what I mean by that is it's an active regulator that has a suspensory regime, which means that if your deal meets certain financial thresholds, the transaction must be filed and you must wait for clearance, and if that doesn't happen, you can be fined. And also, where there is a competition problem, MOFCOM, the regulator, extracts significant remedies. So it's just important to be aware that this region is not one that can be ignored when it comes to merger control and investing in the region.